Grand Rising. Happy Tuesday. Just a heads up before we get started, I do have the dogs outside right now. So if you hear barking and I just have to run out of the picture, it's because I have to go make sure they're not, attacking a cat or something. So that being said, happy Tuesday, Grand Rising. I pray everybody's having a positive, productive start to your day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course, the Most High help you with that today. I also pray that He clothes you in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens your discernment and guides your steps as you go throughout this day. Right into everything. I'm running a little behind this morning. My internal alarm clock is off kilter right now. So I overslept this morning. All right. Our grief affirmation for the day. It's okay to be angry at having to grieve. you know, sometimes the anger doesn't necessarily come from the grief itself, but it comes from a place where, we're angry at ourselves for maybe something that has happened that's causing us to grieve. Maybe we're angry at the world. It just depends on what kind of grief you're dealing with. But anger is a natural part of the grief process. No matter what you're grieving, anger is one of the natural steps. If I'm not mistaken, there's 7 stages of grief, anger being one of them. All right, we're going to get a morning mantra from the Affirmators Morning Mantras deck. It's a chilly but sunny day in my area. I hope wherever you're at, you're having nice weather. Try to get outside and get some fresh air. Even if you can't physically get outside, open some windows, let the sun shine in. It will benefit you in multiple ways. I could care less about P. Diddy. I'm just saying. That is not something that I even think about in my day-to-day life. Yes, it's horrific, the things that he did, so why would you want to free him? But that being said, I'm in the Northeast. Well, I'm in Northeast Tennessee. All right, we got 2 mantras. The first one being, oh wow, and it's got a cup of coffee on it. That very much correlates with the last video that we did, and I do have my coffee. Yes. I refuse to deprive myself of the tiny, splurgy pleasures that spark my daily joy. I'm a lot more fun when I'm not a hollow, gray eyed husk of resentment. I never realized how much I really enjoy my coffee until I tried not drinking my coffee. So, that being said, yes, I bought more regular coffee, but I have ordered my mushroom coffee. So, I think it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So, when it gets here, we'll sample it and see how it compares. And then we got a little smidge of manners goes a long way each and every day. Saying thank you, holding doors, Venmoing right away. I can't believe that's on this. Venmoing right away instead of waiting for the awkward request no one wants to have to send. So, you know, those small acts of kindness, those small little gestures. And I thought about this yesterday because it happened in my life, but I talk about it often on here. And we talked about it in the other video, encouraging people. That positive talk, that reassurance that maybe somebody needs, that you can take just a few minutes out of your day to offer to somebody that can make so much of a difference. I'm gonna have to move this pillow. It's too much. It's my floor pillow, anyways. Okay. But holding a door, that's an example that I use often. Holding a door for a little old lady. You know, I realize that if you're not old, you probably don't think about what it's like to be old very often. But, I guess I'm kind of midstream. And so I think of both. I think of what it's like to be young, and I think of what it's like to be old. And I guess I've reached that point in my life where I can see both perspectives. And very young people and very old people often feel very forgotten, very overlooked, very neglected. And so when you can take just a few minutes out of your day to make somebody smile, to remind them that, hey, I see you. It really can make a big difference. And I guess, we talk about perspective on this channel a lot. If if you can just take the time, which a lot of people don't, to see things from a different perspective, it really can change your outlook on life. It can change the way you look at other people, it can change the way you look at the world, and in reality, it can change the way you look at yourself. Perspective matters. All right, now we're going to get a chakra wisdom card, and then we'll get an affirmation from the Wild Offering Oracle. Wow, this is the same exact card we got last time. You heard and saw me shuffle these cards. Fifth chakra, throat chakra, connect with spirit. Pause. Well-being, sacral chakra, second chakra on the bottom of the deck. Throat chakra again, truthfulness on the top of the deck. I am not going to read the connect with spirit again. We're going to take the truthfulness. That's what was on top of the deck. But I'm pretty sure well-being showed itself last time too. Synchronicities, what are the odds? This deck has I think 52 cards in it. And that's the same card we got on what, Sunday? All right. And this one is also a throat chakra. And it's just the way my mind works. I think that's crazy because I've been having problems with my throat, with my sinuses and stuff. I'm sure a lot of people are. It's just that time of year. But truthfulness. I am truthful and honest with myself. I aim to overcome any fears about speaking my truth. And I speak in a loving, considerate way. What was I just talking about? Let me move you back a little bit. All up in my face. We want to be all up in my face. Okay, just playing. Okay. Uh-oh. Sounds like it's time for a refill. All right. My personal empowerment comes from telling the truth and letting others know who I am. Others will be positively uplifted when they hear my truth, and I take care not to exaggerate in order to impress them. I am careful not to let my mind mislead me, and in turn, others. I avoid gossiping or speaking negatively of others. We talked about that last time, gossiping. You cannot trust somebody who gossips. I said it last time, I'll say it this time. Somebody that is talking about somebody else or their problems or just their life in general to you, it means that they're talking about you and your life and your problems to somebody else. Just know that. I mean, as long as you know that and you're aware, then I guess you're okay. But Somebody who gossips cannot be trusted. All right, so we got the throat chakra this morning. That's patchouli in the incense. Shout out to Elegant Expressions Aromatherapy for the incense. I get them at Dollar Tree, but you can order them online. And there's also a lot of other brands that do the chakra incense. I know you heard that. Let me go see. There's a cat out there that's just daring them to do something. Darling, that's enough. It's too early for that crap. I knew it would happen eventually, but I'm trying to let them spend as much time outside as they can because when I had the week off of work, travel and direction. Look at that. That lines up very well. Travel and direction on the cut as we're getting started. They got used to me being here, and they got used to being able to spend more time outside. Wow, those literally just flew right off the top of the deck. Well, empowerment is the one that originally came out, but we got some others that flew out here. Spaciousness, abundance, and mistakes. We got abundance and mistakes together in one of the videos last week. The abundance was all throughout that. That was the day that we talked about the turkey feather. And then you got spaciousness. So we'll read spaciousness and empowerment. Empowerment. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self, dear Lord. Truthfulness. Being true to who you are, making decisions based on what you want, not what other people want or what other people expect. Um, you know, loving yourself despite being angry at the grieving process. You know, knowing that we are enough. Other people's opinions and expectations of us are not our responsibility. It's not up to you to meet other people's expectations. It's not up to you to make other people satisfied with what you got going on or what they've got going on. Yes, it's a good thing to be encouraging. Yes, it's a good thing to be supportive of other people and of yourself. But make decisions, empower yourself enough to make decisions based on what's best for you, what's best for your life, what's best for your mental, physical, spiritual health. Being a people pleaser will make you sick. And I'm speaking from experience on that. It will make you spiritually sick, it will make you emotionally sick, and it can even make you physically sick. All right, and then we have spaciousness. What do I no longer, wow, I just now, okay. What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vital essence. Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy. What did we talk about in the video on Sunday? We talked about spring cleaning. We talked about decluttering, not only material things, but people, places, thought processes, emotions. It is springtime, spring cleaning, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It is time to clean. What is it that she says in that movie Practical Magic with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman? At the end, close to the end of the movie, the aunt says, "Let's clean house." Yeah, it's time to clean house. Spiritually, physically, materialistically, people, places, things, situations, ways of thought that might not be healthy or may not serve us anymore. Okay. Now we will get an angel of abundance oracle. Then we'll get an angel number. And we'll just keep on going down the line. One card at a time, coming down the assembly line. That's technically, it's a car, not a card. Ha ha ha. You know, pun on words. That's an old school song. I don't know why that came into my head, but it did. All right, we got release resentments about money and ask for your needs to be met on the cut as we're getting started. We'll try for just one of these. It definitely doesn't feel like spring, but if you're from my neck of the woods, we have multiple little cold spells like this before spring truly gets here. You know, they have dogwood winter, blackberry winter. There's several different ones where, you know, it comes in for just a dash and then it's out again. And so that's what today is. I don't know which one it is, but that's what's happening today. I think it's happening a little later in the year than it normally does. The weather guy was talking about concerns about crops. Moonlighting. We have gotten this before. You can't start working on your dream career. You can start working on your dream career part-time while keeping your other job to pay the bills. Soon your dream career will take flight and fully support you. So, you know, do you have a side project that you've been working on that maybe you gave up on? Do you have something that you want to start working on? I mean, in reality, that's why I started this channel, which technically it was my old channel with the yoga and the holistic health. But, you know, a lot of us start little projects, and in reality, it's what we want to be doing all the time. This is just my way of helping myself heal and helping others as well in the process. I tried to grab it and it totally jumped across the floor. Cooperation instead of competition. Wow. What's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. Wow, that actually came up in conversation the other day. You know, and let me just say this. Some people, some people, some people think that you're competing when in reality you're just talking. Like, I used to be that type of person that would compete in a conversation, but I don't do that anymore. And also, like when it comes to physical actions, how can I give an example of this? Um, you know, when in a conversation, when you're talking to somebody, like, okay, let's say that you've told a story to somebody of something that happened to you that day, and the person comes back with something similar that happened to them. Some people would take that as competing, but for me, that's just having a conversation. It's like I've shared with you something that's happened to me or an opinion that I have or you know, something like that. And that person is just, you know, sharing an experience where they, you know, thought or felt something similar. Or, you know, maybe I was just giving you the Cliff Notes version, uh, and then you start voicing some kind of opinion on it. I'm like, yo, yeah, 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 definitely for sure. And they're like, oh, well, this isn't a competition. Okay, well, I didn't think it was a competition, but now that you've brought it up, do you feel like it's a competition? Because, sometimes, especially when it's somebody new that you're dealing with, you may not openly give the full 100%, no matter what you're talking about, whether it's just a conversation, whether you're talking about something specific. If you don't know somebody very well, you may limit the information that you give in the beginning. You may, like I said, you may just give the Cliff Notes version. But anyways, nonetheless, I dealt with that the other day. Uh, Somebody literally told me this isn't a competition. It's like, well, I don't compete. So I know that it's not a competition. But you know, some people can be very judgmental. And I very well pick up on energy, and um I don't like feeling belittled, if that makes sense, and I don't think anybody really does. And so when I feel like that you're critiquing our conversation, I'm gonna probably, where's it at? I might get a little angry, and it may cause me to grieve on the inside. I may not show that anger on the outside, but it may cause some issues, some turmoil on the inside. Uh, I'm sure we've all dealt with people like that. Like that type of person that they've always had a worse day than you. You telling them about something, just awful that happened to you that day, and it's like they've always got to outdo you, like my day was worse than your day and I'm going to prove it to you type of thing. Uh, that's just an example, but there's a lot of people out here like that. All right, we got 33 anxiety and 000 reflect on the cut as we're getting started with the angel numbers deck. And this deck keeps wanting to flip on me. I don't know if it's just because they're still so slippery or what, but all right, angel numbers. I do have to keep track of the time because I do have to work this morning. 8:36 my time, 22:48 on the timer. I'll be so glad when my desk gets here. I'm so tired of picking them up off the floor. 4 and 404. There's more over here. These are the two that actually flipped over. Organization, mind, energy. Let's see what these are. 818, breaking old patterns. 345, personal power. And then 1414, ignite your spark. Something with fours. We've been seeing a lot of fours here lately. 1414, 345, 818. 345 adds up to a 12, which is divided by 4, can be divided by 4. Yeah. We're not going to read those, but breaking old patterns, personal power, and ignite your spark. And then we got organization and mind energy. 4 and 404. One of the numbers that we got the other day was 4442. So if you've been seeing a lot of 4s lately, I try to get in the habit of when I see a number like that, if I'm able, I try to look it up right then. You have your base 1414. It came back out. So that's the one we'll take. Ignite your spark. Spark inspiration, opportunity, joy, new beginnings, positivity. Focus on your needs and desires with a joyful attitude. New opportunities, friendships, or even family additions may be on the horizon. Embrace the positive energy to speed up the process. What hobbies or desires can I focus on to reignite my passion? How can I stay open to new opportunities and positive changes? Identify one passion or hobby you've been neglecting and take a step towards rekindling it. Embrace a positive mindset and be open to the new opportunities and relationships that come your way. Wait a minute, that's not it. Moonlighting. It You can start working on your dream career part-time while keeping your other job to pay the bills. Soon your dream career will take flight and fully support you. So whatever that is, it's different for all of us. We all have that dream that we keep hidden in the background because of fear, basically, or because of lack, which it's not good to be in a lack mindset, but sometimes all the pieces haven't necessarily come together yet. All right. Ignite your spark. So what sparks your imagination? What gives you uh that extra bit of happiness on the inside? When you think about doing something, what is it that you think about doing that just, kind of makes you feel giddy on the inside like a little kid? Or like when I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be when you're young, but when you see a crush, you've got a crush on somebody and they walk into the room and you're like, oh shit, there they are. Like, don't look at them, don't look at them. That feeling that you get, that feeling can be created by other things than just, attraction. That's just the example that first came to my head, but that butterfly feeling in your stomach of excitement, not of fear, not of anxiety, but of excitement, adrenaline, okay. Take what you need, leave what you don't, and the power of touch on the cut as we're getting started with the Namaste deck, the Stress Less deck. We're definitely just getting one of these. They have a little bit of a longer message. Water your body. Water your body. I may have to get my hanky. This exercise is about acknowledging all parts of your body. Take a moment and relax into all the parts of your body. What does your face feel like? How do your toes feel? What about your belly button? Search and seek out all the messages that all the parts of your body have to tell you. I'm going to keep reading, but I'm going to get my hanky. Doing this exercise is like watering a garden. That goes back to the Affirmators card that we got, where she was literally watering the garden of her crown chakra. Each part of the garden needs to be acknowledged and nourished. Allowing all the parts of your body to tell you how they feel is a way you can acknowledge and nourish your body, one part at a time. Okay, so first instinct was, drinking water. Water is something that our body needs. Our muscles, our tendons, our blood, our brain, it all needs water. But unfortunately, not everybody has access to good, clean water. But also watering your body spiritually, and listening to your body. That to some people, the way that's worded may seem kind of weird. Um, but as we talk about so often, if you take the time to be in the quiet, turn off your phone, turn off the radio, turn off the TV, turn off all that outside noise, and just sit with your body for 30 minutes. That one dude said, even, the longer you can do it, the better. 30 minutes is great, but an hour is wonderful. Really listening to your body, when you're not completely distracted by outside influences, what is your body trying to tell you? It sounds simple, but it's actually very complex. It's not as simple as it sounds, especially if you're not used to doing it. Turning off your mind can be very difficult if you're not used to doing it. All right, now we're going to get affirmation from the Affirmators deck. Gratitude on the bottom of the deck as we're starting. Have the attitude of gratitude. If you can't do anything else today, have the attitude of gratitude. The fact that you woke up this morning, your eyes are open, you're breathing, and you get another chance to do it again. That's something to be grateful for. Not everybody got that. Some people didn't wake up this morning. I know that's an eerie thought, but, it's the truth. It's the reality. And sometimes we need to hear that to remind us of how much of a blessing it is that we got another chance. Nobody flipped our switch in the middle of the night. That being said, I want to send loving, healing energy to anyone who's dealing with displacement, homelessness, hunger, depression, anxiety, loss of a loved one, health issues, whatever you're look at that love. Whatever you're dealing with, know that I'm sending you loads of love, and I'm asking you to pray about it. Whatever your situation is, it's never too late to pray. It's never too late to call out and ask for help. We ask not because we have not. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, Heavenly Father, they're just waiting for us to. It's a pride thing. Okay, just if you just break it down, people are like, well, if they know that we need, and I used to be this person, so I'm not talking shit. Well, if they know that we need it, how come they just sit back and they don't do anything? Well, because it's about pride. They want us to humble ourselves. Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't want to acknowledge that they need help. And they don't want to they don't want to humble themselves to ask for it. They just want it given. And then that way they can act like, oh, well, I didn't ask for help. They just gave it. Well, you know what? That's pride. Been there, done that, rode that roller coaster. I didn't even get that t-shirt because I didn't want it. The pride roller coaster is dangerous. And a lot of times we're being prideful and we don't realize that we're being prideful. Yeah, sometimes it comes off as that rough arrogance that, makes us all kind of queasy in our stomachs, but it doesn't always come off that way. It's not always as obvious that you're being prideful. All right. Yeah, that just came out of nowhere. All right, love. I'm It's not really necessarily an inside joke, but it kind of, in my own mind, it is, I guess. It's two birds. I'm going to call them parrots, a boy and a girl, I'm assuming. And the boy bird is singing, like karaoke singing to the girl bird. Love. Love is a many splendored thing. Today, I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or the surge of self congratulations I feel when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try? Or about how about the chills I get when singing along to, and then it says name of song, you know the one. So turn on some music today. Congratulate yourself today. What are those little things that make you smile? I promise you, it's the little things that we miss so much when they're not there anymore. It's those little things that can turn that frown upside down. Love is a many splendored thing. So show self-love today, but also try to share it with somebody else if you can. Love is a many splendored thing. That made me kind of tear up a little bit. I'll be okay, I promise. It just happens. It's got my nose running and everything. All right. We'll get a celestial insights. Then we'll pull from the animal spirit and the birds. It is 8:50 real time, 35, 36, 28 on the timer. All right, so I got about 20 minutes, give or take, and then I got to get ready. My nose really did start running. It's just that time of year. It seems like the older I get, the more the pollen and the allergies affect me. It didn't seem, or maybe I just don't remember it. I don't know. It didn't seem to, I don't remember it bothering me this bad when I was younger, but it seems like every year it just gets a little bit worse. All right. That was quick. Confusion. Confusion. Confusion is temporary and leads to clarity. Are you feeling lost? Slow down, be patient, and allow clarity to emerge in its own time. So, overthinking, stop overthinking. Oh, I know it's hard. Lord, I know it's hard. Get outside. Okay. This kind of goes back to our quiet time. You know, a lot of times when we attempt to have that quiet time, our mind knows it. Our spirit, our soul, our hidden things in there that we don't are that hidden treasure chest of thoughts is like, no, 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 don't open the box. You kind of like Jumanji. Don't open the box. So our mind our subconscious kind of goes into overdrive because subconsciously, deep down inside, somewhere within us, our spirit, we don't want to open that box because we know that we're going to get flooded with all kinds of just, I don't want to call it garbage, but crap, that we've buried for so long. But that's also part of the problem. Sorry, my foot is itching. Okay. Trust. Trust is essential for moving forward. Are you doubting the path ahead? Have faith in the universe's plan and in yourself. Take the next step in confidence. Hold on. Be good. I realize that dogs bark, that's just part of it. But, I try not to just let her keep going with it, especially when it's this early. I do have neighbors, so I try to be respectful of them. They could still be trying to sleep. Okay. Trust. Trust is essential for moving forward. Are you doubting the path ahead? That kind of clicks in with that overthinking thought that I was having. Have faith in the universe's plan and in yourself. Take the next step with confidence. That kind of goes back to the moonlighting card. Even, and we talk about it a lot, even if you have to take baby steps, no matter what it is, whether it's towards a job, towards a relationship, towards a move, towards, making a change in your daily life, like changing from drinking regular coffee to drinking mushroom coffee. I'm the type of person that I overthink everything, including little things like that. Overthinking can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. We have to learn how to shut it off. Stop the confusion, because overthinking can lead to unnecessary confusion. Unnecessary. But I also know how overthinking can it can lead to good things and bad things, but it all depends on what you're overthinking, obviously. But slow down, be patient, and allow clarity to emerge in its own time. So trusting the process, trusting that you've made the right decisions up to this point. Everything happens for a reason. We're meant to be where we are no matter what is happening at that time. Ignite your spark. Let your mind wander into the possibilities of what could be. Obviously, don't put expectations, because with expectations comes disappointment. Period. If especially it was 42:22 when I looked at the timer. Especially when we set those expectations too high. I learned that it's not necessarily bad to have expectations. But when you do have expectations, it's important to remember that whatever situation it is may not turn out that way. Like, you have to keep an open mind and an open spirit and know that, okay, yes, this is ideally how I would like this to happen. But I also acknowledge the fact that, it's probably not gonna. At least not in the way we envision it happening. Whatever that it is. Okay. Ugh. My nose is gonna be get the best of me today. I just got a craving for my cigar, so I am gonna hit a cigar a few times. Uh I really am trying to uh what's the word? Let go of the crutch every day. I'm harping on myself about it, especially now that the season is just the season in itself is making it hard for me to breathe. But I'm even getting to where the taste, I don't even like the taste anymore, which I know that's part of the process. It was 44:14 when I looked at the clock or the timer. Um, Part of the process is, making yourself not like it anymore. When you have to give something up, uh, and I really don't look at it like that as giving something up. I'm letting something, when you have to let something go, you really do have to convince yourself that you don't want it anymore. And sometimes that's harder to do than others. Okay. I didn't flip those over. Hold on. Okay. We'll get a animal spirit card. We don't typically get just one. We typically get more than one, but we'll try for just one anyways. 8:59 real time. I pray everybody's having a positive, productive start to your day today. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. 20 days away from my birthday. Easter isn't far away either. Easter's on 4/20 this year. I think that's hilarious. Cheetah, gazelle, we got all earth energy, and panther. We've seen the gazelle before, and oddly enough, the last time we saw the gazelle card, I mentioned cheetah. Lizard on the bottom of the deck, also earth energy. Nightingale on the top of the deck. We have gotten both of those before. All right. Cheetahs are known for their speed. They are very fast runners. All right. Let me find it. All right. There's Earth. Oh, my bad. That's not the Earth symbol. That's fire. So all fire energy. With fire is Aries, Leo, Sag. Confirmation. Okay, we got cheetah, gazelle, and panther. Fire energy. Panther. Alienation of unnecessary and purging. What have we been purging? Spring cleaning. Letting go of the old, making room for the new. The panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnant. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels scared the crap out of me. Hold on. I'm going to have to bring them in. Pause. Darling. Come on. No. Come on. I gave you plenty of warning. Go on. Go sit down. All right. That was a intermission. No. Get out of my room. Go. Okay. She gets 2 warnings, and that's it. They've been out for, well, we've been on here for 49 minutes, so they've been out with plenty of time. Okay. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. We've gotten trust several times. We got the trust card. Trust the process. When in balance, brave and productive. When out of balance, self-destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. We got spaciousness today. We got declutter Sunday. So letting go of the old, making room for the new, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whether you're talking about thought processes, people, places, things. All right, and then we got gazelle. Heightened awareness and ability and vulnerable. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hypervigilant, and this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. I hurt my ankle out there dealing with them. I don't have my brace on right now. And All right. When in balance, graceful, perceptive, artistic. When out of balance, food allergies, insomnia, and racing mind. What were we just talking about? Those racing thoughts. To bring into balance, yoga, a cozy home, and good food. So that goes back to quiet time, taking care of yourself, decluttering, making your home a comfortable, happy space. Okay, I was reading Gazelle, but I was holding the cheetah card. Wow. Gazelle. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop. All right, cheetah. Solar force, action, achievement, and masculine energy. The cheetah is the epitome of the solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside this great creature and expands outward to brighten the universe. The energy within a cheetah personality is palatable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. Purpose and passion are the best fuel for a cheetah's forward momentum. So if you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before you start running. When in balance, achieves anything and boundless energy. When out of balance, impatient and competitive. To bring into balance, reconnect to purpose. Didn't we already talk about not being competitive this morning? Didn't that already come up? Pretty sure it did. This is not a competition. Oh, they're playing. So now she's going to come in here and bark. I don't know. It just seems like I don't know if it's like the days where she's just feeling peppy and kind of frisky, where she just wants to be noisy. Apparently today is one of those days. I don't know if you can hear her growling in there, but she's trying to get him to play. Copper isn't much of a player. He's a lot like me. He's serious most of the time. Which I've gotten better about it, but I still I have a tendency to be too serious. Not necessarily always in a bad way, but in a noticeable way. All right. Now we'll get an Animal Allies card from the Birds deck, and then we'll get a Crystal card. And then we'll get into the Archangels and the Mary Magdalene, and then we'll be done. We're looking at 12 minutes. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Probably not, but we can at least make an effort. All right, we got penguin and pelican on the cut as we're getting started. We've gotten the penguin before. Both P's. P. Patience. Practicing the pause. Peaceful, productive, positive. All P words. We got the heron again. We got that Sunday. Swift on the bottom of the deck. Starling on the top of the deck. We just got the heron card the other day. Sunday, I do believe. Heron. Elegance, patience, wisdom, self-reliance, ability to commune with the spirit world, evolution, surprising strength, renewal, and metamorphosis. Being content in one's own life is a great gift. Contentment doesn't mean everything is perfect, of course, but rather that it's possible to be satisfied with what already exists in your orbit. Examine what you think you need to be at peace and compare it to what you've already got. Is it possible you already have what you want and or need? The heron wants you to know you are enough. Of course, there's always room to dream new dreams and develop new desires. That goes back to our Angel of Abundance card. Dreaming. But simply being present is a rare and amazing place to be. Being present in every day. Acknowledging the little things that mean so much that we overlook so often. All right, then we got Starling and Swift. Starling. Sharing talents with others to create something new. Being socially active and energized by groups, cooperation, shape shifting ability or adaptability. Starling wisdom. Greatness can come from working together. Everyone has a note to contribute to the group sing along. If you let all the voices be heard. Where did it what card was it that talked about singing? That was our affirmators card with the two birds. Birds. It talked about singing. Be aware of the subtle nuances that make everyone a detail in the big picture. Claim your space within the group, but take care not to overpower others. So hold your place, but don't compete. This is not a competition. Starling wants you to know community is important, but your first duty must be to yourself. If you've been feeling alone in a room full of people, that's okay. You can trust that those feelings shall pass. Acknowledge them, try to understand what's making you feel that way, and then let it go. Then we have Swift. Sisterhood, understanding, reliance, speed, resourcefulness, being community minded, compassion, and reliability. Beauty can be born from devastation. When everything feels hard, asking for help is always an option. There's always another path to consider, always a tomorrow on the way. Open your heart to strong soul connections and to receiving offerings of love, empathy, and compassion. That was the card that had the birds on it, was the love card. Swift wants you to know you are easy to love. Everyone knows you have been fortunate enough to discover a gem of a soul. You are not a burden. Wow. So, if you're in a place in your life where you have to ask for help, just know that let go of the pride, stop looking at life as a competition, and see it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to meet new people, an opportunity to find different skills that you may be able to offer, different personality traits that you may be able to utilize in a group setting. All right, now we'll get a crystal card. And these are still very slippery too. And I am willing to admit that there's a lot of these that I probably don't pronounce right. Language, English, all that's everything in that category, that's not necessarily my strong suit. Green jade. Prosperity, abundance, nobility. Crystal fact. Chinese artists have been carving jade masterpieces for more than 5,000 years. That I don't know why, but that made me think of a jade face roller. I saw one of those one of the last times I went bin picking. They make a lot of cosmetic tools out of jade. Okay. We've finished all the affirmations and whatnot, so now we're going to get an Archangel Oracle, and then we'll get our Mary Magdalene, and we'll be done. It is 9:15 real time. 101:30 on the timer. Yeah, with all the new decks, getting it in under an hour, that will be a challenge. I'm going to try to make that my goal. But we've tried that before. And about the only way I can manage to keep it under an hour is to just lessen the messages. And I think, well, it has shown over time that all the messages correlate, and there's always something in there for everyone. It may not be the whole message, but part of the message, there's always something for everyone in it. Tahariel and Zuriel on the cut as we get started. And we're definitely just getting one of these. The Archangel cards and the Mary Magdalene cards have very long messages, so just one. Jeremiel, number 24, 2-4. Been seeing a lot of fours lately. He's holding a crystal ball. He has a wolf dog with him. There is a polar bear in the background. He's in snow. He's got a sled. There's a reflection of himself in the crystal ball. He almost looks like he's wearing an apron and oven mitts, but, like winter clothing. Card number 24. He is the first archangel of the purple ray, third eye chakra, healing qualities, vision, intuition, insight, perception, spiritual sight, clear perspective, psychic abilities, and dreams. Crystal associations, amethyst, ametrine, fluorite, purple jade. Jade again, we got the green jade, now we're seeing purple jade. Essential oil, lavender. Star constellation, the centaur. His message is mercy. Jeremiel's name means mercy of God, and he is one of the most comforting angels to call on if you are experiencing a difficult time or have a tough decision to make. He can help you develop a more merciful, compassionate outlook and treat others with love and respect. In his card, Jeremiel is portrayed as an Inuit elder. Like the mysterious northern lights above Greenland, his flame and color are deep purple, which is the color of profound spiritual expansion. The crystal amethyst is often associated with this archangel's healing energy, and you may see purple sparkles behind your eyes or in your aura when he's around. Jeremiel is here to help humanity evolve, and we each have a personal path to follow in this regard. This archangel is exceptionally handy if you're undertaking a life review, and he can show you how to take an inventory of anything that is or isn't working, removing any old stuck patterns so you can move forward. We've been talking about that. Decluttering, letting go. There may be times in our lives when we may have to face up to some hard truths about where we are holding on to behaviors, people, and situations that may not be in our best interest. Jeremiel can help us lovingly let go of the old, outdated, and outgrown aspects of ourselves and our lives with gentle compassion. He can also help you see the hidden blessings in any problems. He helps you learn from your past mistakes in order to allow you to grow and become stronger. His message: call on me to bring more comfort and clarity into your life. Do not hold on to that which is outdated. I can help you clear your mind and nourish your soul. Very much goes up with the spaciousness affirmation. Sometimes in life, we may be faced with having to make a very difficult choice to walk away from a situation or relationship we know is no longer serving us. It is during painful endings that we can benefit from harnessing the merciful and tender vibration of Jeremiel. Be kind to yourself as you embark on the next chapter of your journey, and be as kind and gentle as you can in your actions towards anyone you may feel you need to release from your life now. My my nose, I can't breathe. Try not to make any decisions from a place of rashness or pain. Instead, feel into every individual circumstance, offering forgiveness for the hardship and gratitude for the learning. Know that with every letting go, new seeds are sown. Remember to have mercy for yourself too. Go forward from this experience with dignity and grace. I don't think there's really anything that I can add to that other than that seems to be a very, that's the message that we're getting a lot in these last couple days is, understanding that, where's it at? It's okay to be angry. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to acknowledge that, maybe we have to learn how to hold ourselves accountable, not just the other people, places, or things. But to be able to forgive yourself, to show gratitude for the lessons that were learned through the process. Share those lessons with others if you can. Acknowledge that nothing is intended to be permanent. Everything has a season and a reason. We may not understand that rhyme or that reason, but everything has one. All right. Let me put some of these that are out away because we're getting into the Mary Magdalene and then we'll be done. 1414. Ignite your spark. Yeah. 923. All right, we got to do this. I can't keep chit-chatting. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? We just want one, please. Just one. The second power, I trust my soul's desires. That is card number 4. According to legend, Mary crossed the Mediterranean Sea to the south of France on a ship without sails after Christ's crucifixion in order to escape Roman persecution. 2 other women named Mary were on the ship with her, as well as a little girl named Sarah. Some legends suggest that Sarah was the daughter of Christ and Mary. I've always imagined that Mary felt anguish having to leave ancient Israel, the land where she met and loved and lost Christ. What the ego wants is real and powerful, and also part of what it means to be human. We're meant to feel the exquisite suffering of not always getting what the ego craves. We cling to the desires of the ego, most often not even realizing that it's the ego that's driving us to crave so desperately. Christ explains the creation of the ego so perfectly in the Gospel of Mary, quoting Mary chapter 3 verses 10 and 11. Matter gave birth to a passion which has no image, because it derives from what is contrary to nature. A disturbing confusion then occurred in the whole body. Matter, meaning our flesh, our beloved body, gives birth to a passion, the ego, which has no eternal lasting image like that of the soul. This passion, this ego, is contrary to nature because it seeks to control the flow of energy. The ego doesn't want to die. The ego is terrified of change, and the ego wants life to unfold according to a chronological time frame. And this is necessary because if we didn't have this passion, this ego, we wouldn't be able to function here while human, while embodied. The soul needs the ego. Our work here is to discern when it's the ego that's leading, when it's the ego that's clinging to an outcome, and then, with as much mercy as possible, help release the ego's grasp so that the soul can return to its stance at the helm of our life. We want the soul to lead us, and that's often terrifying because the soul is constantly leading us towards what's new, what's next, what has never been done before. The soul wants us to be fully present because transformation only happens in the present tense. The soul voice meditation. What have I been clinging to or trying to control? What are you clinging on to that you know isn't good for you? People, places, things, thought processes, a state of mind. Knowing that, acknowledging that change is hard and that it takes effort, but also acknowledging that all the uncomfortableness, all the uneasiness, all the feeling like you're losing control is all worth it in the end because it's going to lead to something better. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any way possible that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.